Hey, it's Rory with searchandshout.com. Today, got a special video for you. We are unboxing the Samsung Galaxy N. Is the Galaxy Z Fold 2. Okay, it's been a long day. Let me make my dad jokes. Now, a bit about this phone. So the original Galaxy Fold was this phone that I wasn't that impressed with. Like, honestly, I was like, because I feel like the folding phone from that generation that I really liked was the Huawei Mate X. Like, I thought that was way cooler. Might have been less practical, but it was way cooler. The old Galaxy Fold had a lot of problems. Like the thigh gap was one, the really fat bezels was the other, the really weird selfie camera was another one. So like the whole thing felt like a really weird sort of alpha project phone to me, or like a beta project phone. So I'm interested to see what they changed. I haven't actually seen one IRL yet, so I'm quite interested to see like if they learn their lesson. So yeah, let's get started. So as you can see, they're still keeping the butterfly motif. It is a very butterfly. And then you open a box like this. Samsung. Okay, you pop this open. Oh, it's empty. Oh, there's no case this time. It's just some paperwork and the SIM eject tool. Very minimal, very minimal. The original case was kind of dumb, so. You've got another piece of paper here. Introducing Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G. Reimagine the possibilities of the smartphone experience. Sure, dude. And oh, you Taros is the phone already. Look. So you pull this out. It says care instructions. Do not press on the screen, the front camera lens when folding the device. Blah blah blah. Water. We'll figure it out along the way. What's this? Ooh, okay, alright, at least you get a charging cable. This is a USB C to C charging cable, which is standard with the new Samsung phones that come with their new fast charging. This smartphone supports 25 watts fast charging, which honestly I feel like it's a bit too little. Like this is a high-end, expensive, top of the line, supposed to be like you get everything kind of flagship smartphone, right? But why is your charging speed slower than like a Redmi Note whatever? Like, hello? Even those have 30 watts. Dude, the new Realme 7 Pro has 65 watt dart charge, super dart, whatever. This one's still 25. Like, what gives? Hello? So yeah, this is the power brick. So as you can see, it's I don't know if you can see that, but it's 25 watts. You also get AKG headphones. USB-C, because obviously no expensive phone has a headphone jack apparently. And besides that, yeah, there's really nothing else in the box. It's got their new eco packaging kind of thing. It feels good to the soul, not to the hand, but to the soul, because you feel like, oh, I'm saving the environment. But you know, if you actually wanted to save the environment, you use your current phone for as long as you could. Okay, so this is the handset. I'm gonna peel off the stickers. That's still nice. That never gets old. So this is the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. And right off the bat, I'm noticing quite a few good things. So this smartphone has a couple of new features, or more specifically, I think Samsung improved in it in 3 major ways. So the first thing is, I'm going to talk about the most obvious change, which is the design. So it clearly, well, it sort of has like the same kind of form factor and general look as the Fold, the original Fold. You can tell that like the design language is quite different now. As you can see, the back, the camera bump, the sort of satin frosted finish is very similar to this phone, the Note Ultra 5G. It's very similar. In fact, it's almost identical. It's it's almost like they took two Notes and stuck them together, which isn't bad. Honestly, a lot of people don't like the Note 20 Ultra 5G's design, but I quite like it, and I think this Fold 2 is also a very handsome smartphone. The other thing that I like about this phone is I think overall the build quality feels just way better. Right off the bat, I'm noticing a couple of differences. First off, the glass from the side sort of bleeds over the buttons, which is a nice little touch that Samsung added to their newer smartphones. In terms of build quality, the frame is now, more matte. It's like this, it's matte, like this matte frame, this matte metal frame that, it still oozes like expensive and solidness, but there is no longer that like little annoying flex or like movement that I used to feel with the original Galaxy Fold. So that's really nice. And the other thing is that I really like this little touch where they've painted the lip of the screen. These folding phones, they have like a small lip that helps protect the screen when you close it, so you don't like accidentally crack the screen. This little lip, so on the original Galaxy Fold, I think it was just black, but now they painted it like body color, and I think that little attention to detail is really nice. Other things that you'll notice is still the same is the fingerprint scanner is still at the side. Still a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which I'm not a huge fan of, but for a phone like this, I guess it makes sense. You don't really have a lot of place to put it. But the most immediate difference when it comes to build quality has to be that hinge. Oh, it feels like robust now, like way better than the original Fold. It doesn't flop around. It's rock solid across the opening, and that's because this phone comes with a new hinge. So this hinge is very similar to the one that you'd find on the Galaxy Z Flip, so I guess that's why you get the Z, right? Where it's not just like it's either open or closed kind of situation. You can actually sort of like it can hold its position throughout like various angles of the opening and closing, so you can use it in all sorts of ways. And the software itself also syncs up with the screen. So if, for example, you're in like the camera app, it will give you a different sort of layout if you are using it like, I call this like laptop mode, than if you were to like use it like a normal mode. So one thing that Samsung can tell that they're really trying to push is to use this hinge more often than you would with the older one. So I think that's good in both like functionality, but also it helps me it inspires confidence in me that they've actually really put more time and effort into designing this screen. I also do not see any ugly gaps or holes that are super obvious anymore, that like dust and stuff can get into. Like the old Fold had like huge sort of holes and gaps, and this one does not. This one, everything looks really nicely sealed off, which I think is really cool. It's really small attention to detail kind of things, but it really sort of, I can see it makes a big difference. The other thing that I noticed is that the thigh gap is way smaller now. It's way more flush. I don't think like as many things can be like stuck in there anymore. That probably has to do with like the lip, which as you can see is sort of like gradually slopes off to the edge of the smartphone, so it's thicker in the middle to sort of cover up that thigh gap that was really big on the original one. So you get a much closer finish. I can still see through it, like I can still see, hi, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be, and I really like that. So in terms of build quality and the new hinge, I am a huge fan. I think it looks and feels way better, way more like an expensive premium 10,000 ringgit smartphone. Also new with this smartphone is the screens. So both screens, both on the inside and on the outside. So unlike like the Mate X, where you have one screen that folds out and then you use the same screen all the time, you still have two screens on this smartphone. But instead of the tiny 4.7-inch display up front, now Samsung has extended the display all the way to the edges in front. So you can see it goes all the way to the corners with like the same kind of really slim bezels that you'd find on their higher end flagship like Galaxy S or Galaxy Note devices. which I think makes this panel a lot more usable. Like, I hated the old one. It was narrow, yes, but it was also really short. So it was like really tiny and very, very hard to type on. This one is way more manageable. It's still really narrow, but as you can see, it fits 4 icons in a row now, whereas I believe the previous one only could fit 3. So I'm really excited about this because that means, number one, I don't need to open and close my phone so often to do so many things, but also that now this is finally like a usable screen and not just like some, oh, by the way, there's a screen in front, just for fun. No, it's a proper screen now. It also has a punch hole camera at the top, really neat. But although they've sort of extended the display and it is a really nice Super AMOLED panel, so it's, you know, contrasty and you've got that classic Samsung look, they didn't actually upgrade the resolution, so it is still a HD plus display, which means you get a resolution of 2260 by 816 pixels. So it is slightly more than HD, but that means it's sort of like a iPhone SE screen. It's like about 800, or is it iPhone SE or is it iPhone 11? I think they both have like the same kind of resolution. So yeah, it's about that resolution. On this size, it honestly doesn't look too bad. Like, if you really want to go pixel peeping, I guess you could see it, but I'm happy enough. Now, if you open it up, the screen on the inside has also been upgraded. So now you get a 7.6-inch display that is an Infinity O Dynamic AMOLED 2X display that pushes a resolution of QXGA. Now, I don't know what the numbers are exactly in terms of pixel count, but QXGA is really high resolution, so this looks like a proper, like, gorgeous screen. And if you're familiar with Samsung's naming convention, you'll know that, you know, Dynamic AMOLED 2X means that this panel has a fast refresh rate. It has a refresh rate of 120 Hz, which puts it right up there with, you know, the other Samsung displays, the other flagship Samsung displays on the Note 20 as well as the S20 Ultra. On top of that, it's also using the ultra thin glass that debuted on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip, so maybe that's why they're adding the Z here. But you can tell that the screen on the inside is now a lot more rigid, like it doesn't flex as much as the older one, which feels really nice and, again, you know, more reassuring for sure. But there still looks like there's like a screen protector here, but I'm not going to try and peel it off. So if you want to know whether it's a screen protector or not, you're gonna have to wait for someone else to try and peel it off. So yeah, the screen looks really gorgeous, but the final update that Samsung made to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 is the camera system. So as you can tell, it has a triple camera system at the back, it has a punch hole camera in front, and it has another punch hole camera on the inside. So that means you do not get that really weird sort of like section out that's really janky and really ugly. Now you're getting a much cleaner looking camera. So the selfie cameras are 10 megapixels, but the rear camera is a triple camera setup, all 12 megapixels across all three. So you get a wide angle, you get a telephoto, and you get an ultra wide angle, which is good. This very versatile, standard sort of Samsung flagship camera module. And that also means that this smartphone has dual pixel autofocusing on the main sensor, which means it should focus even faster than this phone, which is their Note 20 Ultra 5G, which has the 108 megapixel sensor, which does not have dual pixel. Samsung also made, you know, a quick change with the camera. So they want to encourage like vlogging, or like to use like the front screen while you're vlogging. So you can turn on the rear camera and then turn on the cover screen preview, and then you got a little vlogging setup. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah. So you've got like a little vlogging setup. Oh. You activated the palm shutter. Yeah, so you've got like a little vlogging setup. I guess it's a pretty cool use of the front screen. If you want to vlog with your Galaxy Z Fold, like, can you imagine like vloggers in future like that? So the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be specs. So this smartphone is powered by a Snapdragon 865 Plus processor. So that means if you want a Samsung flagship with a Snapdragon processor, not an Exynos processor, this is the one that you have to get. This is then mated to 12 gigs of LPDDR5 memory and either 256 or 512 gigs of internal storage, though I believe Malaysia only gets the 256 gig version, which is kind of a bummer. Like, it's supposed to be like the best phone you make. Why are you giving me 256 gig storage? I don't know, but you know, you get 256 gigs. At least it's not 128, which, you know, I think then people will really riot. One other more minor update with the Galaxy Z Fold is apparently this smartphone has the loudest stereo speaker setup on any Samsung flagship. So what we're going to do to find out is we're going to play a video.
So on today's episode, we are going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live. Ta-da! So here are the top tips on how to get the most out of your Samsung Galaxy Buds Live.
It sounds loud for sure. So as you can see, like the speakers are here, one over here and one over here.
Okay, so
I think probably a better way to view it would be like that, but then you got a camera bump. So I think it has to be like that.
And here's how you wear them. First, you have to check the direction of each
Sounds
earbud
nice.
and
There's
make
good
sure
separation,
the speaker is facing
good
the
volume.
lower part of your ear. Then, place them into your ears and adjust them so they fit perfectly into your ears.
So yeah, that's pretty much all the new stuff for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. Overall, I think they did a pretty good job with upgrading like the necessary bits, though now that I'm holding the phone, I just realized that this corner is actually really sharp. I don't know why it's so sharp, but it's really sharp and it's like a bit uncomfortable. But overall, I think they made a lot of good changes, a lot of the changes that we wanted to see, which is, you know, you've got like a much more robust hinge, it's a much more solid build. I think it looks better. You've got a more functional front display, you've got a more functional camera system, and you know, it's overall, especially the screen on the inside, like it doesn't feel like it's gonna break if you look at it weird, which is very reassuring. So I think it still might, who knows. Of course, there are things that they cannot avoid, stuff like the crease. The crease in the middle is still very obvious. Like you don't have to go looking for it. The moment you open it, you'll be able to see it. But I think in the long run, it's not going to be bothering in the same way that you're not going to be bothered by it in the same way that I don't think you were bothered by the one on the original Fold or any of the other folding phones, because if you're really watching like a video or into the content, the crease just sort of goes away. But it's definitely still there, so they haven't been able to eliminate that. I don't think they will, at least in the immediate future. But you know, here's to hoping that somebody figures out how to do that. So the only thing left for me now that I'm really unsure about is longevity. Like I don't know how long this smartphone will last. It feels way more solid and well built than the predecessor, so I hope it will last longer. But the original Fold had a lot of issues, like for example, dust is really easy to get in, and this still does not have any IP rating for water or dust resistance, so I don't know how secure this smartphone is. It looks like they've done a better job with it from what I can see in my eye. But you know, dust is smaller than my eye, so the other thing that I will point out is that Amin, who is like the co-founder of Search Chow, he's been using a Galaxy Fold, the original one, for like as his daily driver since it launched, and his Fold, you know, it ran into a lot of issues over the time that he was using it. So for example, his hinge is like super loose. Like if I closed his phone and I shook the bottom panel, it would hear like, which is like not very reassuring at all. And on top of that, because he uses the inside screen so much, because you know, like I said, it has a rubbish outside screen. You know, if all that swiping on this side of the display, like he's swiping a lot here because, you know, comfortable, am I right? And he swiped so much that portion of the screen, like it just sort of wore down, so there's like a huge patch there, and it feels really weird and it looks really off. So I don't know if this smartphone will have all of those problems. But then again, here's the caveat, okay, Amin is quite a ganas person, so I don't know how like a Galaxy Fold would survive if you're not as ganas as Amin. He's gonna hate me for saying this, but it is facts. So I don't know if like you really want to baby your phone, whether it will last better. Like if you have a Galaxy Fold, you know, that's in perfect mint condition, if you've been using it all this time, then you know, let me know in the comments below. But I'm not a person who believes in babying their phones. Like I use all my phones without cases. Of course, a lot of people hate that because if it gets scratched, then it's like really hard for me to shoot videos and photos. But I think like it's a good test of build quality, and I love the feeling. Like if a manufacturer is going to put so much time and effort into engineering like the little dips and creases and making all the seams as tight as possible, the last thing I want to do is, you know, cover all of that up with like a cheap 9 ringgit case from Ninja Z. So yeah, for me, it's reliability because I think everything else is just classic Samsung flagship. If you like Samsung flagship, you'll probably like this phone. In fact, you might like this even more because it's got a Snapdragon processor, because I know a lot of people are not a fan of the Exynos processor, and for a good reason. But yeah, overall, I think the Z Fold 2, I'm liking where this is going. So while the original felt a lot like a beta folding smartphone, this feels a lot more like version 1.0. So even though it's called the Fold 2, I think this is what the Fold was always meant to be. Anyway, that's it for me for this video. If you have any questions, like whatever it is you want me to test for this smartphone, anything you want to find out, you can always hit me up. I'm on Instagram. You can also hit up our Search and Shop Facebook page. You can message us on the website. You can leave a comment on this video, or you can join our group, RKMD, Facebook group. I'm quite active there, though sporadically. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that notification bell icon so that you'll be informed whenever we post a brand new video. And once again, you know, our home on the internet is always at searchandshout.com. Until next time, I'm Rory and I will see you then. Bye bye.